All right. This week just looks like it's the week of big box of rumors because lo and behold, we got another big rumor today. Or at least I got one today by shout out to Tommy Boxeo on Twitter. Added me on Twitter and me and Eric Lorda, co-host of the Ringside Reporter podcast, and he said that he's hearing that Wladimir Klitschko could possibly be returning on April 13th against Dillian Whyte. This is just a rumor, but this is coming from Steve Bunce. Now, Steve Bunce is a pretty reputable guy in the UK, and I don't know if he would risk his reputation on something like this just to put out these rumors. Let's look at some of these quotes here, because this is from an article that I put in the description box from Talk Sport, and it says, British boxing journalist Steve Bunce has stated that he's heard talk suggesting that 42-year-old Ukrainian will return to the ring in 2019. With Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury currently negotiating a rematch, Anthony Joshua is trying to secure an opponent for his next fight, currently scheduled for April 13th at Wembley Stadium. And it's well known that one option would see AJ instead head to America for a showdown against unbeaten contender Gerald Miller instead, in which case someone else would take the Wembley date. All right, so Steve, this is actually a quote right here. This is an actual quote from Steve Bunce. I still fancy Joshua fights Miller in America, Bunce stated on his BBC 5 live boxing podcast. I think either the April date gets pushed back or something else goes on there. I'm hearing all sorts of stuff about a fight that might be. He continued tentatively before asking, can I drop it? The journalist then declared, Wladimir Klitschko is coming back. He's going to fight again, and I'm hearing him linked with a big British heavyweight. It's not Fury, and it's not Joshua, and I'm hearing that could be the fight that we will see there April 13th at Wembley. When later asked on Twitter whether he was referring to unbeaten contender Dillian Whyte, Steve Bunce confirmed that is one of the crazy fights to launch this glorious year. He also reaffirmed that at this point, the story was just strong speculation, adding it might be bogus news, it might be real. You hear this, you hear that. It's the whisper business. So all this stuff is coming from Steve Bunce. It's in the article, like I said, from Talk Sport. And you can go to his Twitter, and he's interacting with people on Twitter and talking about this fight potentially with Wladimir Klitschko and Dillian Whyte. This is crazy news because, I think Anthony Joshua possibly could have put a bug in Eddie Hearn's ear. He did come over to the United States. He was in New York a couple months ago. I think it was I want to say he was in New York in December, late December. And for the Canelo fight, actually, he was in New York for the Canelo fight, and he's soaking up the atmosphere, really enjoying the scenery, really liking being in New York, and he seemed really intense and anxious and interested in coming to the United States, coming into Madison Square Gardens and fighting, and it's already been rumored that. Big Baby Miller, Jarrell Miller could be a possible opponent as well. And, he's a New Yorker. So this could happen. I mean, because this April 13th date, another fight that was floated around there was Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. So, obviously that fell through because Amir Khan accepted to fight Terrence Crawford. But, it's interesting because it seems like Anthony Joshua just does not want this April 13th date, or at least he doesn't want his next fight to be in the UK. As I said, he wants to make a big splash in the United States. He came over in December for the Canelo fight. He was really excited about it, really said that, he really enjoyed being here, and he looked around and he enjoyed the atmosphere of the fans. And he said that this could be a historic fight for me to be able to fight here. Could be a historic event for me to be able to fight here. And it's something that I'm really looking forward to doing in the future. And so this April 13th date may be open. And if Wladimir Klitschko wants to come back, what better fight would it be against a UK guy in a UK stadium? Two big names, Dillian Whyte and Wladimir Klitschko, two big names in Europe. And Dillian Whyte's definitely making a name for himself and really starting to garner a lot of attention. He's doing pretty well in the UK on pay-per-view. So this is a great fight. I mean, if this does happen, this is kind of interesting. I think it's definitely a really good fight. And I think that if Dillian Whyte does take on this fight against the veteran Wladimir Klitschko, and he is able to beat Wladimir Klitschko, then he should definitely get a title shot next. I mean, Wladimir Klitschko, can say what you want, he's still one of the best heavyweights in the last 10 years at least that we've seen. So let me know what you guys think. I urge you to go and check out this article. Is Steve Bunce blowing smoke? Why would he just come out with something like this out of the thin air? It just doesn't make sense that he would do that. Just for headlines. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we got anyone in the chat. Hey, what's going on, Capadon 24? What's going on, MBT Boxing? How you doing, brother? What, Klitschko? No, he should not return. His time has passed. I don't know. He had a good performance against Anthony Joshua. I mean, he was up on a lot of people's scorecards before getting stopped, and he was close to stopping Joshua too. So you can argue that he's given Joshua his toughest test to date. So yeah, I mean, that was the toughest fight Anthony Joshua's ever been in to date, in my opinion, and I think most people would agree with that. So I don't know. I don't know. I think Klitschko's kept himself in shape, takes care of himself. He looked pretty good in that, like I said, in that fight with Joshua. So I think he did better against Joshua than Dillian Whyte did. But I know people are saying Dillian Whyte's improved. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Looked great against Chisora. Definitely has that punch. If he connects with that left hook, he can definitely take Klitschko out of there. So this is something that I think is interesting. It's something that I would be interested in. It's something that I'd be excited for. Obviously, we know we're not going to get that Deontay Wilder-Anthony Joshua fight in April 13th. We know that rematch is very probable with Tyson Fury. And, wow, this is a great year. So this could be a great year. Already having all these fights right at the front end of this year. We got Adrian Broner and Manny Pacquiao, which is a fight I'm looking forward to. We got Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence. And if we were to get this fight, Wladimir Klitschko versus Dillian Whyte, I think that would be great, man. And then imagine on top of that, if we get Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather 2 in July. I know a lot of people don't care about that fight, but you know what? You guys would still buy it, I think. I think a lot of you guys would still buy it. I think, yeah, there's a lot of rumors swirling around this week about fights, about people coming back, about big name fighters returning, people coming out of retirement. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see if where there's smoke, if there's fire. Let's see. Couldn't finish 12. I like his legacy as it is. Stay retired, says Hand Wraps. I don't know, man. I guess everyone's going to have an opinion on it. Not everyone's going to want to see Klitschko come back, but let's see what happens. All right, guys, that's all I got for now. The way this week is going, who knows if there's going to be another big rumor popping up later in the week. That's all I got for now, guys. Make sure you tune into the Ringside Reporter podcast. This week it's going to be an early start, 6 p.m. Eastern time because of the PBC fights on Sunday night. Uzgataki versus Caleb Plant. So, big fight coming up on Sunday that I'm excited about. So that's all I got, guys. Till next time, Beavis out. Talk to y'all soon. Peace, man. Have a great night.